Do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.
Hey everybody, welcome. This is Dr. Willie Jolley and my beautiful bride. Dee. And we are grateful to have you with us as our guest tonight on our weekly end of the year Jolley Marriage Show. We are very grateful, very grateful for all of you who have made this a popular show, not just in America, but globally. We're grateful for all the people all over the world who now watch this show to get tips about how to improve your marriage, your relationships. And so we are very grateful for all of you and all of you who have shared it with your friends and family members. I also want to thank all of the people who stop me at different places where I go and say, I watch your show. I watch the replay of your marriage show. I said, really? I'm always impressed every time I get somebody to say that. So very grateful for that. For those who don't know, her first timers, we're the authors of the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. We've been married going on 40 years. 40 years. We haven't had an argument in over 38 years. So we are very grateful. I still got the hots for her. She still got the hots for me, hopefully. She hadn't gotten rid of me yet. And we are very grateful. So welcome wherever. Let's get to this show today.
It's a recap.
It's a recap of the year. We've had a great year. We've had marriages that we've gotten word of who were on the verge of divorce. Some had even filed the divorce papers. And we gave them principles that have helped them and they've come back together. So we're grateful for all of those. Had some who were, they said they were done. And now they are getting back together. Because we found that most marriage issues are little teeny problems that are not addressed while they're teeny weeny. And they just keep growing. So we want to give everybody some principles. We've talked about this year a lot of topics.
They really fall into three categories.
Okay.
Sex, money, and communication. Communication is the common thread. And I went back through the
By the way, you look
YouTube.
mighty stunning tonight.
I know what you're doing. He's working on communication.
Okay.
And if he talks nicely to me, he sweet talks me, he gets benefits later on. That's what he's working on. Sex, money, communication. Out of going through the YouTube videos and looking at how many views, what seems to be most popular, and I was trying to come up with at least 7, but they fall into those 3 categories. The common thread is communication. So here's our recap of 2024.
Okay.
Okay, a quick. How to ditch the drama. So we've had many stories, many situations, but they tend to fall into those categories: communication, sex, and what was the other one?
Sex, money, and communication.
Okay.
They all fell in the
How to ditch the drama, how not to argue.
Okay.
And we actually did a TED Talk on how to never ever argue again. Doesn't mean you don't disagree. How do you do it without destroying your relationship?
Okay.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're on. We're on.
Okay.
Everything's on.
Okay, spine.
Greg Kazera got always. Gladys Pemberton is saying she can't get on. And it is live, Gladys. It's live. Anyway, Greg Kazera, Happy New Year to you. And y'all are watching from home. We got people. Jane Herlong, my dear friend, is watching from South Carolina. And
hey, Baby Jane.
And Baby Jane is one of the people who gave us the title for chapter number 8 about sex. Her mama told her when she was getting married on that day, don't you forget this. Don't you forget this. Don't you forget this. Never have a headache. In regards to sex. Never tell that lie you got a headache. But when you tell that lie you got a headache, remember there's a woman somewhere with an aspirin in her pocketbook. Thank you, Jane, for that. Okay. We talked about this year. We've talked a lot about sex. We've talked about money. We've talked about communication.
The topics: how to ditch the drama, how not to argue, how to never ever argue again. We did the TED Talk related.
Oh, stop. TED Talk. Make sure everybody knows that you can see our TED Talk free at jolleymarriage.com. How to never ever argue again in marriage. Our system for not arguing, it works. 38 years of not arguing, and we've been married 40 years. It works. We haven't had an argument in 38 years. Okay, so jolleymarriage.com. Go see the TED Talk. Boom.
All right. Spontaneous versus scheduled sex got
a lot of, because see, people don't understand that sometimes it's spontaneous. Sometimes when you're busy, you got to schedule it. You got to put it in your schedule. This is our time for sexual activity. Okay, we're gonna put it in the schedule because you're busy and people get busy and they get tired, and so we got to be intentional about it.
I think for some it sounds not romantic, but it is romantic. It can be romantic. And it's time for intimacy.
Can I schedule some?
I'm going to look at my calendar,
yeah,
my itinerary,
see where I fit in,
and see where you fit in.
Thank you.
So what date would you like?
No, half hour.
I'll see what I can do. I'll work you in.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, go ahead.
So, topic: spontaneous versus scheduled sex.
Okay.
Or intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How to keep the relationship spicy, which really deals with the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes it's like how do you keep it spicy if you're having sex with the same person all the time? Which is probably one of the reasons in conversations with people who are not yet married or who are thinking about that. Can I have sex with the same person all the time? And then after 40 years, it still be good?
Absolutely. For those who have that question, answer is absolutely still good. Woo! Yes. Still curl my toes. Yes. Okay.
Can I continue?
But there's a reason for that. Now, there's a serious reason for that.
Okay.
Because you're not just having sex. You are making love with the person you love. And
somebody that you enjoy.
That you love being with. And
whether you have an orgasm or not?
Well, if you love them and you don't, and they do, it's okay.
Okay.
All right.
Like that.
Yeah, your job is to serve them.
So if you're serving each other.
Yes. You're not as concerned about your concerns or your pleasuring. You're concerned about the whole experience because it's 360. It's not, many people get focused just on one part of the marriage. It's 360. We got sex. We got holding hands when we go out. We got intimacy, just talking. We got time when we're with the kids, with the family members. All of those parts are part of our whole existence.
Also supporting each other during difficult times.
Yes.
Or during loss or during challenges and when there's a struggle paying the bills, who's got your back? Who's got your back? That's a very important. And if it's a one night stand, I don't think they're going to have your back.
Nah, that's just what it is. It's temporary. It's not, it doesn't have depth. Okay, and that's what we want.
Okay.
All right.
So, then 5 was ABCs of sex. So it's still, and then there was one that, and I didn't realize that is sex important to middle-aged women was actually the topic. So I don't know how that question came up.
And these are all things that people can go back and watch the whole shows on our YouTube channel.
They're like between
Jolley Marriage, the Jolley Marriage YouTube.
Yes.
Jolley Marriage on YouTube, right?
So most of them are like 29 to 33 minutes long. Okay. Living apart together.
Oh, that was one. We're finding a lot of people who are living in the same house, but they live in separate rooms. Now, sometimes that's because somebody snores. Now, sometimes it's just that they found that they sleep better by themselves. I mean, I don't endorse it. I sleep better with you. When I'm traveling, when you're not with me, I don't sleep as well.
I don't sleep as well when you're not in the bed with me.
Yeah.
So
Our
but
toes touch.
But
Yeah.
I use all the pillows.
You try and replace me.
I line up all the
But
pillows.
they can't put your toes together.
No.
Our toes touch at night. Okay.
I still have to have my socks on because when you're in the bed, you're my heater.
I'm your heater.
Mm-hmm.
I warm her up. I warm up the bed. All right, but what else?
Okay. Okay, so we got living apart together. How to tame a hot-tempered spouse.
Ooh, that one we got a lot of responses on because some people have tempers. And we had somebody wrote us. Oh, by the way, everybody knows you can write us an email. You can email us with your issue, whatever it may be that you want us to address. And we feel happy to doing that. We'll address some. We can't get to all of them, but we've got a lot one. Good. Gladys is on. I'm glad. Gladys Pemberton is back from California. Oh, maybe she's still there. I don't know. Maybe she's still in California.
She's
but
a world traveler.
There was she and her husband Ron, who we talk about in the book. One of the great stories in the book about going from a me mentality to a we mentality. Very, very important. Okay.
Also, the gray divorce.
We spent a lot of sessions over the last year talking about the gray divorce. A lot of sessions talking about the gray.
And that is?
People who've been married 20, 30, 40 years and then decide to get divorced. And it's a new topic area, lots of communication, and we're trying to keep people from having a gray divorce. We want them to stay together. It says till death do us part. That's what the vow says, and that's what people say they did. We also talked about for better or for worse, rich or for poor, in sickness or in health. We talked about vows and what they mean.
So is there a deal breaker?
A deal breaker about what? I don't know what you mean.
You saying staying together for better, for worse.
Well, and people say do you take this person for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and health? And they say yes, because they all hot and bothered and they want to get married.
But when you analyze and you unpack it, the question is really, what is the deal breaker?
Well, what's worse? I mean, when you say
you're saying what's worse.
There is no deal. Oh, let me make it clear. There's no.
But that's the question that really needs to be on the table. I understand what you're saying.
With you, there's no deal breaker.
That's what
I told you how you can get out of this marriage.
That's what everybody needs to understand. There is no deal breaker.
Okay,
raise the question: is there a deal breaker? And you have an answer.
There is no answer for me.
Then you need not.
I said for better, for worse, richer. If there's a deal breaker, I see what you're saying. If you have an answer to that question, well, this is a deal breaker.
Yes.
Then you need not get married.
Correct.
Because worse is worse. Did they run around on you? Worse. I already told you. Here's how you can get out of this marriage. Here's the secret. Listen, when we got married, I told Dee, here's the out. If you want to get out of this marriage, here's how you get out. You die, you're good to go. You can get out of this marriage when you die. And if you leave me for another man, I'm coming with you. All right, I'm coming. I'm going to be in the bed with the two of you. I'm going to sit up there in the middle between, say, hey, good night, good night. I'm going to be right between the two of you. Because, I'm in this forever. Okay, that's how it's going to be. It's for richer, for poor. We've been through both. Okay, richer, for poor. When we got married, we didn't have
resources are better than no.
We had to live in my mama's attic with no bathroom on that floor, and temperature was either real hot or real cold. So, and we did it for a year. So we've been in.
It really wasn't that really wasn't that bad.
Well, it wasn't because we made up our mind it wasn't going to be that bad. Okay, we could have whined and cried about it, but hey, this is what it is. We have a goal. We're going to stack our cash and buy a home.
So then, one topic that's not on here that I think needs to be discussed is sharing goals.
We're going to do that next week.
We are?
Yep, we're gonna do share and goal because it's the beginning of the year. Every beginning of the year we do a
What I
piece on
find-
goal setting.
Complaints in talking to a part of a couple, not the whole couple, but like the spouse. Well, they want in church Sunday. I was waiting for you when you were doing all the counseling.
What church is that?
First Baptist Church of Glen.
We always, when we say church, we got to give the name of it. We got to give a shout out to our church. So people who coming to Washington D.C. or those who want to watch online, it's now international. You know, we endorse. We not only endorse, we celebrate. We push First Baptist Church because it's a great church with a great pastor. And we want people to know about it, particularly if you don't have a church. We don't want to do church stealing, but we do want to make sure if you don't have a church, the First Baptist Church of Glenarden is a great church.
So
Pastor John Kenneth Jenkins Sr. Okay.
So I was talking to the head of the wives ministry.
Yep.
And another lady came up and started asking questions about whether or not the wives couples, is it called couple? No, the wives ministry, and whether or not they were separating out the widows and the widowers, right, okay, into a separate group from those who are currently whose spouses are alive, right?
Okay,
so
right.
That was the topic of the conversation, and then that led to the lady who had asked the question. Husband had passed away like 2 years ago. And she said there was so much that she had garnered from other widows in terms of the conversation. And then she proceeded to tell us this long story about how she had taken the death certificate to send the death certificate to Comcast so that the bill would come in her name. But then it was some other kind of problem. And she needed to know the PIN,
the password,
password, and all that other kind of stuff, because her husband had set up the account and they had been married for 40 years. But she didn't know any of that kind of information.
We're going to talk about that show.
Wait. Okay. But then that led the head of the wives ministry to say that those are some common issues that the husband and wives are not on the same page with information.
Well, we're going to talk about that. Okay, we're going to talk about I get that. Okay, we're going to talk about that coming up. I want to still focus. Thank you for sharing it. Okay, now let's. I want to talk also this year. We talked. I had a 2 or 3 week session with men only, not to say women, or for focused on men. And in those sessions, I talked about men. The things you've got to be mindful of. One, that women need intimacy and security. You're going to save yourself a lot of drama, a lot of issues, if you just make sure you focus on secure.
What does security mean?
Making sure they feel like you've got them.
Okay, but let me tell you the problem. Let me go back to my conversation Sunday.
Let's get back to that. Okay, go ahead.
I'm cycling back to my conversation from Sunday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the ladies were they're feeling frustrated. One whose husband passed away 2 years ago, and the current one whose husband is, she says, I don't really know where the passwords are for the things that he opened, for the accounts that he opened up, and they don't communicate. So when you talk about wives want security, what does that look like? And for me, that says, I want to know every password. Who are the beneficiaries on the account?
Oh, we talked about your marriage beneficiary worthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
The challenge is that oftentimes the man does not want to talk about it. I got it. Don't worry. What if you die? What if you're incapacitated and you can't communicate? Somebody was like, well, okay, everything's in a file. Okay. And then you find the file and it's jacked up.
Wow.
So how does that provide security? That's an uncomfortable topic We don't want to talk about it, but I got 3 ring binders of information because I have to.
Yes, you do.
Because I remember.
Here we go.
The first year
we went to the tax account.
No. We didn't go to the tax account. I had all the information collected, organized, because I was responsible for organizing and preparing for my family's business when we did business taxes. And when I asked you.
Yes. Yes.
And when I asked you.
Yes.
For your tax information.
Yes. I gave you a brown.
Your expenses.
Yes.
Laid out.
Yes.
Summarized.
Yes.
Totals.
Yes.
What did I get?
A brown paper bag. With receipts. A big old brown paper bag with receipts.
So often we love each other. The definitions of what it means to I got you, to make your mate feel secure, means something different to each one.
Yes, I agree.
So that is why.
But the word is secure. You make them feel that you've got them. You've got them, and you've got them covered.
But what does that translate into?
Well, it's different things. Some is finances. Mm-hmm. Some is that they are secure, that you're not running around on them, or you're not looking at other women, or I mean, there's so many different things. It's not one thing. It's multiple things.
It's multiple things.
But men need to be mindful.
But it includes some foundational things about where's the money.
Well, money is one of them.
It's a major part. How do you access the money?
That's one of them, Dee. I'm not disputing, but there are many of them. Some are, they go through somebody's phone. But they're insecure, or they feel that there's a issue. Mm-hmm. There's others who said, I don't like the Facebook messages I saw. All those are things that you've got to make your other half, make them feel secure.
You need to know what it is that brings insecurity to them.
Right.
And then you need to address them. So when you say, I got you said that. I understand what you mean. I mean, it's multiple. But that needs to be unpacked, so that the person that you're supposed to have got
feels like they been gotten.
Based upon what they need.
I agree with that. Okay, I agree with that. I concur with that. All right, next. What else did we talk about? I talked about women need security and intimacy. Security and intimacy. If you do that, your life is going to be so much better. Security, what I just talked about, and then intimacy is not sex all the time. No, you can use.
It is not sex.
You can have. You can have intimacy. You can have sex, and without intimacy.
That's called.
Don't say it.
Why?
Because you're gonna say something.
No, I'm not.
Okay, all right. Because you sometimes, I don't know what you're gonna say sometimes. What were you gonna say? That's called what? It's called you got
being
something.
A hoe. Put your money there.
All right. So you must have intimacy. What's that? That's a warm feeling. Talking to them, saying good things about them, making them feel good, asking them learning their love language and speaking their love language, or presenting their love language. If it's time, giving them quality time. If it's gifts, some people like gifts. If it's communications that they like. If it's service. Acts of service. Mm-hmm. Whatever their love language, you want to know it, and you want to give that more.
Sometimes the person can't really tell you what their love language is. Uh-huh. So that's why studying your significant other, your spouse, your mate becomes important, right?
Okay, that's right.
So you can figure out what it is that pleases them. Sometimes people cannot quite articulate. And then I go down this rabbit hole of oftentimes people can't articulate because they don't have any words to really express how they're feeling, because they're not necessarily well read. Hello.
Okay, and so we went, the man and I went point by point, the 10 chapters in this book, because this book is written with each of the 10 chapters that we agreed upon, but then I talk about my perspective for this issue. She talks about her perspective. They aren't always the same.
So we agree on the concept.
Yeah, but we have different perspectives of how we get to them. So I talked about making God an equal part of your marriage. It should be a triangle where you got man, woman, God at the top. And God is 33, 33, 34. He's the majority owner of this marriage. And so you run everything through God. What does God say about this? That is how that's how we have built our marriage. So friends first. We talked about friends first. You need to make sure your spouse is your best friend.
Okay, what we got from that was, well, I didn't think that my husband, one lady, I didn't think that my husband could be my friend. I thought that was kind of interesting that she would say that.
Right.
And now I have to work at befriending. And I'm thinking
we talk about that too. Befriending. How do you befriend your spouse if y'all are not best friends? How do you develop that? We talk about what we've learned from our pastor. He talks about how he had to start doing what his wife would like to do. Finding out what it was. She liked HGTV. Mm-hmm. He said that he didn't particularly like HD, but he started watching it. Mm-hmm. She liked shopping, or she liked it. He started doing those things. I have learned to do yoga.
Oh, let's not go there, because really, you don't do yoga with me.
I don't do yoga with her because she's an advanced yogi. I am not.
You're making excuses.
But I am going to be downward dog. This thing. Warrior.
Now, why are you changing the tone of your voice?
Because this has to be yoga.
No, it doesn't.
But I am going to yoga class. Am I not?
You did go to yoga with me. You don't go with me consistently.
But I have gone to do I do yoga because you do yoga.
You understand the value of the stretching.
I do. It did help my back because my back was jacked up. Okay. What else? So we talked about friends first. We talked about making God, and then we talked about talk about everything, communication. And that's the chapter we give that is free for everybody who wants it on the Jolley Marriage website. Go get it. The free chapter, communication, the biggest chapter. We also talk about making the decision to stay married. Mm-hmm. And men, you got to make the decision. Women, you got to make the decision.
So once you make the decision, this is it. Then you're going to start to scramble to figure out how to make this is it a comfortable experience.
Mm. Make it good. This should be good. And then, we talked about nagging. Don't nag. Look, no nag. The Bible says it's better to live on a rooftop.
But you know what I think?
Hold on, let me finish. It's better to live on a rooftop than to live in a house, a mansion with a nagging spouse.
And I think that often we don't know what nagging is. I remember you said it to me.
I said it
years ago. You said, "Please don't nag." Whatever it was, you said, "You're nagging. Please don't nag." I thought, oh, okay.
Because that ain't gonna work. I said that ain't gonna work. And she took it and said,
okay,
point.
I got that.
Touche. I got it. Bang. Mm-hmm. No nagging. She tells me what she wants. We talk about it. We don't nag. Don't do no nagging. We also talked about muck raking.
And then wait, before you leave nag, I think it's important that there's some things, whatever it was, nagging. Like, did you take out the trash? I was trying to think of what it was.
I don't remember. It's probably 30 years ago.
But
40 years ago. We're about almost 40 years.
Constant adjusting.
Yes.
Constant adjusting. Like, think about cutting the grass. That was a major thing years ago.
What?
Before you were starting to travel a lot.
Yeah.
You really never liked the yard, but you would attempt to cut the grass.
Yeah.
And I said, that's not working. Because the yard was important to me. It was not. There was an acknowledgement. So I said, I'm going to find a way to handle it.
Yes, you
so
did.
I removed that from your plate.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And when I said, you know what? The kids are now gone because the kids had to work they had to do their part,
chores.
Changing the living,
everybody had
chores and stuff. And once the kids were gone, then it's like, This is too much for me to do. And what did you say?
Get a housekeeper.
I was like, oh, that's so smart.
Get a
Get
housekeeper.
a housekeeper. So that's something that's off the plate that we don't have to grumble about, right? And then little things. So when somebody will say, well, what are the things that Willie does that annoys me? And I was like, you know what? I really have to think about it and put it, because I put it so far out of my head that it doesn't bother me. Like when I said, honey, your clothes are everywhere. Please hide them.
And I did. I hid them. You don't see none of my clothes when you come in there.
So
open that closet door. Oh my God, it's gonna be bad. But you don't see them when you come in there.
Because I'm like, it's traumatizing to me.
See, what you got is a neat freak and a slob, okay, who live together. And I'm very happy with that. My mama was not a housekeeper. Our house was not
lovely lady,
but she did not was not a housekeeper. I grew up in stuff. It was chaos. Okay, I'm used to that. So I married this neat freak. What am I gonna do? I had to address it. You know, I had to work with it.
We made adjustments.
We made it work.
We made adjustments from, okay, let's get a housekeeper to get the major thing. Or something like just dust over there in the corner.
And I learned to make up the bed.
And you made up the bed. Now, I made it easy for you to make up the bed.
You did.
Because I was used to the hospital corners, and I used to have a white satin bedspread. White. I got rid of that because you know what? That didn't work.
That didn't work?
No, it did not.
Because see, I came from a house where I never made up the bed. I said, I'm gonna get back in it tonight. Why am I? So I was thinking, but I make it up every night now. Every morning now. Every morning I throw them pullers on there. Every morning.
But I made it.
I even make it up when the housekeeper comes. Even though I know she's gonna make up the bed, I still make it. I'm in the habit now. I don't feel comfortable not making it up.
Reinforcement. So I made
sex made me. She said, right, positive reinforcement. Let's call it whatever. She hooked up, brother, up. Oh, I will make that bed up all the time. You keep hooking me up like that.
So
yeah,
I made it easy for you to make up the bed, though.
Yes, you did.
Because I went from the satin, white satin, all that kind of stuff to a duvet cover.
Yep.
Just fluff it up, throw the pillows on it, right?
Yeah. And it works. It looks nice. And we get back in the bed at night.
And I'm not.
You're not
anxious.
it's not all the way going crazy.
And I'm not crazy about the fact that you didn't fold all your underwear and put it in the drawer.
Because you can't see it, because it's in my drawer. I got it in there. It's all where I know where it is.
And the dirty clothes.
It's in my little hamper, but nobody knows that.
Well, it's in the closet.
It's in the closet. Sometimes on the floor. But you don't see it.
I'm saying,
you don't see it.
I don't see it, and it's okay.
All right, our time is up.
That's the concept.
We got somebody joining in from an Arabian country, maybe Egypt or somewhere, because I see the writing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got people from Gladys is here from Virginia, but we got the Cazares from West Virginia. We got Jane Herlong from South Carolina. We got people from all over the world joining, and we want to thank you, and we want to say Happy New Year. Happy New Year. God has blessed us with another year. We are grateful. We are grateful. We are grateful. We've had a great holiday. Christmas was wonderful. If you celebrate Hanukkah, we want to say shalom to you. And to those who are Kwanzaa or Barigani, and we will be celebrating a big Kwanzaa party we've been doing for 30 years on January 1st. And so we celebrate all of those. And we are grateful for all of the traditions during this holiday season. So
as we move into the new year, we're going to look at goals.
We're going to talk about goals next week.
Goaling, individual, and goaling. That's the word I made up. Goal, ing, which is an active thing because you're constantly, should be constantly adjusting your goals and talking to each other. Here are my goals. Here are your goals. How do we support each other? And what are our shared goals, right?
Next, number 2. Is we are going to see you next week with goals. Number 3, we're going to, every year at my church, we have a big New Year's revival on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday has always been Bishop Jakes since I've been there. As you many know, he's had some health issues, so he won't be there this year. And then on Saturday every year he does a leadership training that is just fantastic. But someone came up to me at church on Communion Sunday and said, you should do something for leadership. And I said, thank you for that. And I just let it resonate. And I prayed about it. And so I'm thinking about doing a free event online, a Zoom event, for those who just want to start off their year with communication for leadership. And so if y'all will send me a text or, put in the chat, if that would be of interest, I'm going to do it free. I just want to bless people.
So when is that?
That would be the second Saturday of the new year.
So we're going to send out an email.
Everybody should be on our newsletter list.
Okay.
Go to
if you're on the newsletter list,
you'll get a notice about it. Next thing.
And then how will they sign up? Will they get a link?
They'll get a link. They'll be able to get.
You think that maybe Cheryl was pulling her hair out?
She will be when I tell her that. But I just want to bless people because so many people have said they're used to having something that day to inspire them for the year and give them some tools for success this year. Let me say, this year has been a challenging year, not from a business standpoint, but from a personal standpoint. We lost two of our best friends this year to cancer. Two of my closest, I'm not say my closest two, but two of my closest female friends both died from cancer, Terry Thomas and Vivian Biddy Clark. So I eulogized, spoke at both their funerals, but it was tough. But also it was a great year for our business because our business is for the first time in a number of years debt-free. And that's a big deal because after COVID, we refused to fire any or lay off any of our people, and we took loans to make sure that we could make sure their bills were taken care of, and we got in debt. We had a big debt. We had a big debt. When I say big, and this year we were able to clear that debt away. We have no debt. That's a big deal. So I'm grateful. So it's been a good year. It's had its challenges, but what it was, we set goals. And we set some very serious goals, and then we went to work.
And it's different when you set the goal versus what are the strategies that you must employ every day, every week to get it accomplished.
Right. So if you're interested in that leadership training on, what is that date? I think it's the 10th. It's the 10th or 11th, whatever that Saturday is. Yes, 4th. It's 4 and 7.
So
it's
we
11.
will get
Send us an email, info@williejolly.com. Say, I'm interested, and we'll then get the information. Fourth thing is we had a few people ask us about Valentine's Day and said, you talked about maybe having a Valentine's Day event on the Saturday after Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day this year is on a Friday. Is that Saturday having an event that people can access? We'll talk about relationships. We're thinking about doing that. We've had a number of people who say, yeah, I want to be involved with that. Send us an email if you're interested. info @williejolly.com.
So what does it look like?
It's, why do you have to go there right now? Why do you have to go there right now? We just getting it out. And you want to know the deep. See, that's how she always is. The deep down detail, where it's going. Every T has to be crossed. I'm just getting started on the thought. So if you're interested. And last but not least, thank you for your support this year. We really appreciate all of you telling your friends.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
And we're going to be timely.
Well, we're way over time now. Oh, no, we're way over time. Go get the book. Everybody go get the book. 2 copies. Get one for you and your significant other at JolleyMarriage.com. JolleyMarriage.com. Get the bundle. We recommend the bundle. 2 books, 2 workbooks, audio book, and a CD seminar series. Get it. It's much cheaper than a divorce lawyer. It's much cheaper. Much cheaper than any of these mediation lawyers. Go get the bundle, JolleyMarriage.com. That's it. Thank you, Gladys. Glad you're back. Desiree Matthews is in the house. Thank you. She said, fantastic show. Anna Phillips, good at High Point University, where I'm an artist in residence. The Kazaras are here. So many are here. So many are here on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on both Instagrams. I got 2 Instagrams. I got my personal and I got our marriage, because we figure we want to let as many people know as we can.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank y'all. We got to go. Cheryl told me when I say goodbye, don't come back.
You are driving Cheryl crazy.
Happy New Year. All right, here we go. Good night. See y'all next week. God willing.
Jolley out.
Jolley out.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.